So we just got out of Sony's E3 2013 press conference, and the bad news is that The Last Guardian didn't make an appearance. But the good news is basically everything else. They showed off a few new IPs like The Order 1886. There were a few big surprises like Final Fantasy 15. They also showed off Kingdom Hearts 3, which we kind of knew was coming, but didn't know when we'd see it again. There was also an appearance by Mad Max, which is the new game coming from Avalanche Studios, the creators of the Just Cause games. Overall, it was a very emotional press conference. There was a lot of applause and a lot of laughter, but there were a few hang-ups that caused a lot of, I would say, dread and panic throughout the crowd and the people showing their games. Namely, the Assassin's Creed 4 demonstration, which kept stalling throughout. Every time, sending audible gasps through the audience until it ultimately just froze up altogether and they had to move on. It also looked like we were going to have similar problems with the Destiny demo, which showed off gameplay for the very first time, but luckily they rallied and put together a live demonstration that was actually genuinely pretty exciting. I think the biggest message of this press conference overall was Sony, in nearly every way, answered back to some of the more unpopular things that have come out about the Xbox One since it was announced last month. Jack Tretton took the stage and basically said, you're going to be able to play your discs however you want. You can sell it to a friend, you can give it to a friend, you can trade it in, you can buy a used game. It sounds like they're going to have absolutely no licenses that you have to worry about, which was a huge sticking point that people had with Xbox One when they announced their policies just last week. The other big thing is the way that they treated indies tonight. And to be fair, there was a much bigger indie presence at this morning's Microsoft press conference, but they dedicated an entire chunk of the show to like 9 games that are going to be coming to PS4 from indie studios like Young Horses and Clay Entertainment, who showed off their game Don't Starve, which came out on PC earlier this year. Young Horses obviously was showing off Octodad, Dadliest Catch. But at each of those junctions, when he would show off the indie games, or he would show off how it didn't have DRM and online checks, there was literally like a 1-minute pause for a standing ovation. Like, I've seen a lot of outpouring of like fanboy support at these press conferences before, but I've never seen anything like that. Because Microsoft showed off a ton of games this morning, way more games than I think anybody even expected. Sony matched that, but they also came back and just threw the gauntlet on how their system is going to handle online policies, how it's going to handle DRM, and it even came out with a price that is $100 less than what the Xbox One is going to bring. The Xbox One is $499. They announced here that the PlayStation 4 is going to be $399 in the US, 399 euros in Europe. That's so, I guess in the grand scheme of things, not a lot less money, but in the console purchaser's mind, it's all the difference in the world. I just didn't expect them to fire quite as many shots across Microsoft's bow. And I'll be curious to see if Microsoft walks back any of their more unpopular policies after Sony came out tonight and said that they're not doing any of it.